guys, Victor here with a brand new video, and I'm going to be talking about UFC Las Vegas 5, which will be going down this Saturday night. Edmund Shahbazyan versus Derek Brunson, which is going to be the main event, and that's what I'm mostly going to be talking about, especially during this video. They're both their styles, how they match up with one another, etc. Now, when it comes to Edmund Shahbazyan, he had a very good last showing against Brad Tavares, which is a very good veteran in the UFC in the middleweight division. Kind of like a gatekeeper nowadays, but other than that, Brad Tavares is still a very good fighter within the UFC. Edmund Shahbazyan was able to dispose of him within the first round with a beautiful head kick, which happened back in, I believe it was the Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal card. That fight happened on the prelims, and it happened during a very big crowd. Definitely one of the most special pay per views I've ever seen my whole entire time watching the UFC. But it was a great showing for Edmund Shahbazyan, which has already set him up for his first UFC main event, his first UFC 5 round fight against a very gritty and a very hard to beat veteran such as Derek Brunson, who he's going to be matching up against. We all know Derek Brunson is a wrestler. That's what he specializes in, but he's got a great amount of power. He's knocked out legends such as Lyoto Machida, and he's knocked out other guys as well during his career. He's been known to get pretty wild during his fights, which has cost him in the past. He was wild against Robert Whittaker. He had up against the ropes until Robert Whittaker was able to capitalize on his wildness, which ended up being a little bit of some sloppiness, and ended up knocking out Derek Brunson, which is a fight that happened a couple years back in Australia. Derek Brunson, like I said, he had him on the ropes, but he can't get wild because it leaves you huge openings that can end up being capitalized at the end of the day. Having and you receiving an L at the end of that certain fight, whether the decision is whether the end game is going to be a decision or a knockout or a submission. Now, one of Derek Brunson's other losses was against Jacare Souza. He was knocked out via head kick. So to be honest, I won't be surprised if Evan Shahbazyan actually targets some of the leg kicks, to the feet, also to the body, and mixing it up to the head as well. Definitely towards the head. I feel like that's going to be his main target, just because Derek Brunson has been rocked there before. When it comes to being a total mixed martial artist, I've got to give that to Edmund Shahbazyan, just because he's been training since the age of 10. Ronda Rousey is his manager, and Ronda Rousey's former coach is his coach as well, and which basically makes things very, very interesting because Ronda Rousey's coach, Edmund, I believe his name is Edmund Tavarian, and apparently everybody believes that he's a terrible coach, but he's been able to raise Edmund Shahbazyan. He's been able to groom him and turn him into the mixed martial artist that he is today. And basically, Edmund's his golden ticket to show the world that he wasn't a bad coach, that he didn't screw Ronda Rousey over. We all have mixed opinions about that, but still, he has a very good prospect on his hands. And if Edmund Shahbazyan can get this win this Saturday, then it's definitely going to propel him towards a top 5 opponent, which is going to be very, very difficult just because it's a whole roll of killers. You've got Israel Adesanya, the champion. You got Paulo Costa. You've got Yoel Romero. You've got Jared Cannonier. You've got Robert Whittaker, the former champion. So it's basically a murderer's row of people that you have to go through just in order to get to Israel Adesanya. It's one of the most stacked divisions in the UFC, if not the stacked division. But when it comes to keys to the victory, if I were Derek Brunson, I'd keep things cool, calm, and collected the whole entire time. Don't get crazy. Don't go for head chases. Try to go in for a takedown every once in a while. Definitely cut some angles. Throw some jabs up there in order to distract, because jabs are mostly distraction punches. Sometimes you can throw a nice stiff jab that can really rock someone's head back, but for Derek Brunson, he needs to throw a lot of them just to keep Edmund Shahbazyan guessing the whole entire time, set up that takedown, and see what he can do on the ground. Derek Brunson isn't the most BJJ savvy guy, so if I were him, I would try to finish the fight on the ground via ground and pound. For Edmund Shahbazyan, mix up the kicks, mix up the strikes. Definitely get some good combinations in there when it comes to Derek Brunson, and stuff the takedowns. That's going to be the main thing. Do what Israel Adesanya did against Derek Brunson. Stuff the takedowns and keep it on the feet at all times, because that's where Edmund Shahbazyan has the main advantages on the feet, especially with the boxing and with the Muay Thai. Um, and if he really wants to win by knockout, go head hunting when it comes to the head kicks, because that's how Derek Brunson lost against Jacare Souza. The head kick, which wobbled him really badly, and it ended up being a knockout, which was a very, very quick victory in the first round back in UFC Charlotte, North Carolina, a couple years back when Jacare Souza and Derek Brunson headlined that card. It was a rematch between both of those guys, and Jacare completely exposed him. Now, Derek Brunson is coming off of a win from his last fight, which is against Ian Heinisch. He got rocked pretty badly in the first round within the first couple of minutes, and I believe it was off of a head kick. So, like I'm saying, if Edmund Shahbazyan really wants to win, target the head with the leg kick, because that's really going to wobble him really badly. But he was able to come back in that fight and defeat Ian Heinisch. And as we all know, Ian Heinisch is a Dana White's Contender Series guy. He was still fresh in his UFC career, so Derek Brunson definitely got a break right there because he was able to capitalize on some of Ian Heinisch's mistakes. But if I were Edmund Shahbazyan, stuff the takedowns, go with the mix it in with the leg kicks, body kicks, and eventually try to distract him to the point where he can sneak a very good head kick in there and try to knock him out and get him out of there as soon as possible. Because Derek Brunson isn't that type of guy that likes to let off a little bit. He'll get stronger as the rounds go on, but he does tend to get very tired. He was tired at the end of that Ian Heinisch fight. So if I were Edmund Shahbazyan, definitely work on the cardio as much as you possibly can, because this is going to be his first 5-round fight. Some of the nerves are obviously going to be there for him just because this is his first main event. All eyes are going to be on him. A lot of people are going to be watching this fight, especially everyone in the middleweight division, to see how things shake up after this fight does go down. If Edmund Shahbazyan wins, he's most likely going to face someone in the top 6. So definitely kudos to him for even getting in this spot. You know, he's able to make some fast work of a lot of people. He just like Ian Heinisch has come from Dana White's Contender Series, and he's the second guy from Dana White's Contender Series that headline an actual fight card on a main event. Now, Derek Brunson, if I were him, definitely try to, like I said, definitely try to take down Edmund Shahbazyan, because a lot of us haven't seen him on the ground, especially during his fights, because he's been finishing guys left and right. So just try to take him down and finish him by ground and pound. Make sure that the fight is not on the feet for too long, because Derek Brunson will get pieced up. He will receive the 2-piece in the soda, because Edmund Shahbazyan's hands are very, very sharp. So if I were Derek Brunson, definitely utilize the head movement. Definitely get the get the guard up. Blocking the head kicks as well, just like this. He did that against Jacare, but Jacare's kick was so strong that it really rocked him, even when he blocked it. So, like I said, for Brunson, his key to victory is taking down Edmund Shahbazyan, making sure the fight isn't on the ground the whole entire time, and making sure that he's pressuring him a lot, getting him against the clinch, against the cage, throwing some knees in there, and definitely trying to find some elbows as well whenever he gets the possibility. Pressure him as much as possible, just because this is his first time in the spotlight in the UFC main event. So it's definitely going to be a interesting fight, but I'm definitely leaning more on Edmund Shahbazyan. I feel like he's going to knock out Derek Brunson in the third round. I'm going to go with the third round. I don't think that Edmund's going to be able to do it too early, but like I said, this fight was supposed to happen 2 times before. It was supposed to happen in Portland. That got canceled. Then I believe they moved it to the New York card. Then they also moved that again. So actually, no. This was supposed to happen. I forget, but it was supposed to happen in Portland. That got canceled. Then I think it got moved to the Houston card with the John Jones fight, and I believe that got canceled as well. So this is the third time. Third time makes the charm. So I'm definitely excited to see this fight, see how it goes down, and Hopefully you guys like it as well. So I appreciate you guys for watching this video. Like I said, I'm going to have another one out very, very soon. And I'll see you guys later.